What's up, guys? JP back at you once again, bringing you guys day number 13 in my 10th annual 31 Days of Horror. This is a series in which we watch and review 31 horror films in 31 days, all during the month of October, leading right up to Halloween, and continuing along with our journey through some keynote titles. For the third selection, I went with a film that I've been wanting to see for quite a while. I've heard of it for a really long time, and that is Sugar Hill, from the year 1974. This is a blaxploitation film, considered one of the better blaxploitation films, I think. It was mentioned in the documentary Horror Noir. I've heard a lot of people talk about this one, but I've never actually seen it. It's also known for having voodoo zombies, which is a very underused horror mechanic of modern times. You don't see a lot of voodoo zombies anymore. Once George Romero's The Night of the Living Dead came out, voodoo zombies kind of went the wayside and you didn't see them as much anymore. There are a couple of films such as Sugar Hill, Wes Craven's Serpent and the Rainbow, the Tales from the Crypt Presents Ritual, and a few other ones. But for the most part, we get the standard flesh-eating George Romero style zombies these days. But it is cool to see voodoo zombies because I do actually really like the concept of voodoo zombies. So Sugar Hill is a film that follows our lead character, Sugar Hill, and her boyfriend who own a nightclub. And there's a bunch of criminals who come in and want to forcibly buy the nightclub from them. They refuse. They end up killing Sugar Hill's boyfriend, which sends her into a furious rage, and she wants to get revenge. So she enlists the help of Mama, I believe it was, who's this like old woman who knows stuff about voodoo, and they enlist Baron Samedi to summon up zombies and go after the gang members. And meanwhile, you have a detective named Valentine who has some sort of connection with Sugar Hill, who thinks that she might be part of this because she has the motivation, considering her boyfriend was killed by these gang members and now all these gang members are showing up dead. And that's basically your plot. So Sugar Hill is a pretty good 70s film, man. Like, this is the stuff that I like. You have these really cool voodoo zombies. There's a scene where they're all rising from the ground, and they look really cool. They look very like New Orleans inspired type voodoo zombies, which I've always been a huge fan of, like the voodoo culture and stuff like that in the South. And they have this almost like Day of the Dead sort of paint on them. I mean, I don't think it's supposed to be paint, but it's like, you know, it makes them look ghastly. And they have these like silver eyes, these big silver eyes that are cool, and they're usually covered in cobwebs and stuff like that, and they just look really neat. And I believe they are supposed to be slaves who are resurrected, who were buried in like the swamps and stuff like that. So it has that cool sort of tie-in to Black history. And also, the kills are nothing like amazing. I mean, it's the mid-70s here, so like kills weren't really important like they were in the 80s with slasher films. But they almost feel sort of Dr. Phibes-y in a way, you know. Like one person is buried in a casket with snakes, and another one's like fed to pigs, and I think there's like a stabbing or something, or a throat slit or something like that in there. Sugar Hill is really, really awesome, played by Marky Bay, and she just has screen presence, you know what I mean? Reminds you a little bit of a Pam Grier. Maybe they were going for that, but you know, she has this screen presence and this attitude and this you know, badassness quality to her that you just sort of root for, and you really like that. And everybody looks awesome in the 70s. The music fits with the film, you know, of the 70s, the blaxploitation era of the 70s especially. It honestly is a really solid flick. I even thought the pacing was pretty good, considering a lot of these films from the 70s are a little bit slower paced, and sometimes you have a lot of downtime. But I felt like this film was paced pretty well. I really don't have too much complaints about it. I would have maybe liked a few more kills in there or something like that. Maybe a little less of the detective narrative, because I felt like it was not as effective as it could have been. It just wasn't as interesting, honestly. But yeah, that's Sugar Hill. I go ahead and give it an 8 out of 10. I think it's really solid. If you've never seen it, definitely pick it up, give it a shot. Pretty awesome movie from Kino there. And with that said, we'll see you guys next time with another one. Peace out.